The Dallas Wings have announced right here. The Dallas Wings made franchise in WNBA attendance history with a pair of games at AA Center in downtown Dallas last season. Am I not mistaken to say that the Fever games were the ones that broke the record?
The Dallas Wings just made franchise history, and surprisingly, it has almost nothing to do with what happens on the basketball court. The organization announced that during the 2026 WNBA season, 3 of their home games will be played at the American Airlines Center in downtown Dallas, the massive NBA arena that seats over 19,000 fans. Those games include a matchup against the Chicago Sky in July, a game against Golden State in August, and most notably, an August 20th showdown against the Indiana Fever. On the surface, this might look like a simple venue change or a marketing experiment, but in reality, it's something much bigger. This is a calculated business decision that reveals exactly how the entire WNBA is preparing to capitalize on what many are now calling the Caitlin Clark effect. To understand why this matters so much, you have to look at what happened last season. The Dallas Wings played all of their home games in their standard arena, drawing what would be considered normal attendance numbers for a mid-tier WNBA franchise. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing record-breaking. Then the Indiana Fever came to town. 1 game, 1 visiting player. Suddenly, the Wings shattered their franchise attendance record. That single Fever game generated more buzz, more ticket demand, and more revenue than multiple home games combined. It wasn't because Dallas had a better roster that night. It wasn't because they were in a playoff race. It was because Caitlin Clark was in the building. That 1 game changed everything. When the 2026 schedule was released, Dallas became the first team to publicly announce that they would be moving Fever-related games to a premium NBA venue. They won't be the last. What Dallas is doing isn't speculation or hype chasing. It's basic economics. Operating an arena like the American Airlines Center is expensive. Teams don't make that decision, unless they're confident they can sell 15,000 to 20,000 tickets. And Dallas is confident enough to make that announcement 8 months before the season even begins. Now let's zoom out and look at the league-wide context, because this isn't just about Dallas. The WNBA will have 15 teams next season, and the Indiana Fever will play a 44-game schedule. Most teams will face each other 3 times, either twice at home and once away, or vice versa. But there are 2 teams that the Fever will play 4 times. One of those teams is the Atlanta Dream. And if you know anything about Atlanta's arena situation, you can already see what's coming. The Dream share facilities with the Atlanta Hawks and have access to State Farm Arena when scheduling allows. That means when the Fever comes to town, especially twice in one season, at least one, and likely both, of those games will be moved to the larger arena under the explanation of scheduling conflicts. That's not speculation. That's how teams justify these moves publicly. But the real reason is simple: demand. When the Fever are the opponent, the demand is too high to ignore. And Atlanta won't be alone. Look across the league and the pattern becomes obvious. The Washington Mystics play Indiana once at home. Their standard arena holds around 4,000 fans, but they also have access to Capital One Arena, a 20,000-seat venue. There is absolutely no chance the Mystics host the league's biggest draw in their smallest building when a massive arena is available. That Fever game, especially if it's tied to the Commissioner's Cup, is going to the big building. Las Vegas is another fascinating case. The Aces host the Fever twice at home in the same week. Michelob Ultra Arena seats about 12,000 fans, but Vegas also has access to T-Mobile Arena, which holds over 17,000. Leaving that kind of money on the table simply doesn't make sense. At least one of those Fever games is almost guaranteed to be upgraded, and there's a strong chance both will be. Chicago might be the most obvious example of all. The Fever travel to Chicago twice next season. The Sky normally play at Wintrust Arena, which seats just over 10,000 fans. But last season, Chicago moved one Fever game to the United Center, where the Bulls play. That game sold out weeks in advance and generated more revenue than any home game in franchise history. With 2 opportunities this season, there's virtually no debate. Both games are going to the United Center. The only real question is how fast those tickets sell out. Minnesota has already shown the blueprint for how teams are handling this moment. Last season, the Lynx offered half-season ticket packages that specifically excluded the 2 Fever games. Those games were sold separately at premium prices. Fans who bought partial plans got access to every other home game, but if they wanted to see Caitlin Clark, they paid extra. That wasn't accidental. That was the front office recognizing they had a premium product and pricing it accordingly. In 2026, the Fever played in Minnesota twice again, and Target Center has an upper bowl they can open for high-demand games. Both of those matchups are getting the full arena treatment and premium pricing. Now look at the Fever's road schedule as a whole, and this is where things really shift. Indiana only travels to Phoenix once, only 1 game in Seattle. 1 visit to Golden State, 1 game in Connecticut. For most WNBA cities, the Caitlin Clark Tour is making exactly 1 stop. That fund mentally changes the economics compared to last season. When teams were guaranteed multiple Fever games, they could spread that demand across season ticket packages and normal pricing structures. But when you only get 1 opportunity, literally 1 night, every team is going to maximize that moment. That means bigger venues, higher ticket prices, expanded seating, and special marketing campaigns built around a single game. And while those games will likely sell out or come close, this actually creates a positive outcome for fans. Unlike last season, where tickets were nearly impossible to get and resale prices skyrocketed, playing in larger arenas increases supply. If you want to see the Indiana Fever play in your city next season, chances are you'll be able to get a ticket. It might not be cheap, but it will be available. That accessibility matters if the league wants to turn casual interest into long-term fandom. This is also why Dallas announcing their arena move so early is strategically smart. By doing it in December, they're setting expectations. Season ticket holders know what's coming. Casual fans can plan ahead. The team can build marketing campaigns months in advance. And most importantly, nobody will be shocked when those tickets are priced higher than a standard Wings game. These are being positioned as special events, not routine matchups. What's fascinating is that Dallas is currently the only team that has publicly announced their venue changes, but they won't be alone for long. Behind the scenes, at least 8 to 10 other franchises are almost certainly negotiating similar arrangements. Some will wait until closer to the season to build hype. Others will announce during ticket renewal periods to drive urgency. But make no mistake, the decisions have already been made. From the Fever's perspective, this creates an interesting dynamic. Indiana benefits enormously from playing in front of massive crowds on the road. The league benefits from packed arenas on television. The overall perception of the WNBA grows every time the Fever play in front of 18,000 or 20,000 fans. But Indiana doesn't directly receive any of that ticket revenue. That money goes to the home teams. In a very real sense, the Fever are subsidizing the financial success of the rest of the league just by showing up. In the long term, that revenue will eventually flow back to all teams through better media deals and collective bargaining agreements. A rising tide lifts all boats. But in the short term, it raises questions about value, compensation, and how the league structures revenue sharing when one team is clearly driving demand at an unprecedented level. There's also risk involved, and it's worth acknowledging. Sports are unpredictable. What happens if the Fever struggles next season? What if Caitlin Clark gets injured? What if Indiana falls out of playoff contention early? Teams are committing to expensive venue upgrades based on the assumption that interest remains high. But clearly, franchises have decided the upside outweighs the risk. One sold-out game in a premium arena can generate more revenue than 5 games in a standard WNBA venue. Even if attendance falls short of capacity, the move still makes financial sense. And homes. Still, even in a down scenario, curiosity alone might be enough to fill these buildings. Caitlin Clark has become more than just a player. She's an event. That kind of star power doesn't disappear overnight. So here's where we stand. The 2026 WNBA season is going to look fundamentally different from anything we've seen before. The Indiana Fever will play the majority of their road games in NBA-sized arenas. Teams across the league will generate record revenue from hosting Indiana. Ticket availability will be better than last season. And all of this is happening because one player has altered the economic calculations of an entire professional sports league. The big question now is sustainability. Will fans who show up to see Caitlin Clark return for other games? Will attendance grow across full schedules or remain isolated to Fever matchups? That's what will determine whether this is a long-term growth moment or a short-term spike. But regardless of how that plays out, what we're watching right now is unprecedented. A second-year player is driving arena decisions league-wide months before the season even begins. Dallas made the announcement first, but they're just the beginning. Over the coming months, team after team will confirm what we already know. When the Indiana Fever comes to town, it's not just another game. It's the biggest event of the season, and the league is finally treating it that way. So what do you think? Is this sustainable growth for the WNBA? Or are teams taking a gamble that could backfire if interest cools? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want more breakdowns like this as the 2026 season approaches, make sure to subscribe, because this story is just getting started.